What's up, Crazed Nation? I'm Crazed Reviews, and today I'm bringing you a brand new JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Diamond is Unbreakable episode review. Now, in this episode, we are focusing on the entry of a new character. His name is Rohan, and what happened is Hazamada actually meets up with Kyochi, and they start talking. Hazamada then goes on to say that the author of Pink Dark Boy, which is Rohan, happens to live in Mario. So they speculate, hey, if he lives here, why don't we just go and ask him for an autograph? So they go to his house asking for autographs, and Rohan lets them into his house and shows them around where he makes the manga, talks about the process and everything, how he faxes in, how he goes about making manga, and how he does it based off of reality. He tries to learn about everything. And we see this because Hazamada had a spider on his back, and he grabs it and he's like, oh yeah, let me look this up. Okay, this is this type of spider, and it also does this and that. Okay, now let me see what it's like, how the legs are connected. Is it male or female? What happens when I stab it? You know, it just goes from 1 to 100 very quick there. It's like, oh shit, what the fuck? And next thing you know, he's tasting the spider. Yeah. If I saw that shit, I'd fucking leave. I'd just be like, fuck this shit. I don't want to be around this, because you start seeing someone just randomly lick a spider. Oh, fuck that shit. I'm out, man. I'm not gonna hang around any longer. Like, there's obviously something messed up with you if you're running around licking spiders. Just saying. But they stick around. And they're all creeped out by this. I mean, Hazamada did throw up. And it's when he throws up that Rohan just turns his attention to him and says, oh boy, you threw up! Let me sketch that! And Hazamada's like, oh yes! And he's like, oh shit, it looks too fake now. Fuck you. You just ruined it. You ruined it, man. I was going to draw you puking, and then you just ruined it by making it look so fake and forced. What's wrong with you? So nonetheless, he's like, okay, let me just go to the kitchen and get a signing pen, when he actually had pens at his little station. So I don't know why he had to go all the way to the kitchen. It's because he wanted them to look at his work. So he goes in to the kitchen, and they go to look at the pack of papers of his most recent work on his desk, and next thing you know, guess what? It activates his stand ability, which we find out is Heaven's Door. Basically, what his stand does is that it takes, you know, all of their body, and it'll be like the knuckle here, it'll just open up and be like a manga. Just like a manga. Their face will open up, and manga, same. So they're pretty much, they've turned into a living, walking, breathing manga. And through this, Rohan is able to read about their life, what they did in the past, what all they know, etc., etc. So he finds out anything and everything, and also the fact that Kyochi is a stand user. So he actually ends up making it so Kyochi cannot hurt or do anything to affect Rohan with his stand. Which we see later on, like, Kyochi tries to attack Rohan because he's like, fuck this shit, this guy is using his stand ability on me, I'm worried, he's going to do something that's going to harm me, so I'm going to use my stand to try to get away. But every time he does this, he misses his attacks because he's no longer available to hurting Rohan. And basically what Rohan did is that he wrote into his life that he will never be able to hurt Rohan at all. So, yeah. That's one thing. As well as another funny thing is that when he's done with Kyoichi, he moves over to Hazamada and starts reading about his life, and he's like, oh man, you're a fucking asshole. My viewers wouldn't want to read about your shit. And Hazamada just starts tearing up. He's like, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. So, yeah, that was pretty interesting stuff. But what I found to be really interesting is the fact that after all of this, Kyoichi didn't remember all of what went down at Rohan's place. He ends up leaving Rohan's place with Hazamada, and they're both like, oh man, Rohan was such a nice guy. He gave us these autographs and everything, milk, cookies. Man, what a nice guy. And basically what had happened was, I think back when they were in the house near the end, he ended up ripping out pages from Kyoichi of his life and stuff. And I think what had happened was, when he ripped it out, he ripped out information that actually showed him doing all this stuff to him, so he won't have any memories of that current moment. As well as this also made Kyoichi lose like 20 kilograms or whatever it was in weight, so that was quite interesting. Though I gotta be curious as to why Kyoichi is going back to Rohan's house. It almost felt like he was, being pulled towards his house, because he seemed to have just kind of went there unwillingly. It just kind of happened. It seemed pretty forced. I don't know if it was or not, but it did seem like it was going in that direction. Like some entity was just kind of pulling him towards his house and bringing him back in there. Because how he was talking and everything, it seemed like he wasn't fully going there at his free will. So I don't know if that's something else to do with Heaven's Door, or if he just wanted to go visit him again. But yeah, definitely that is something that I'm curious about and I want to know more of, and I'm sure a lot of you guys want to know a lot more of that. But we do see Josuke and Okuyasu were right behind him, telling him because he wasn't going to school. He was going the opposite way, and they saw him enter, so we might see Josuke and Okuyasu get in on this, though, with the fact that Rohan was able to see and find out what Reverb was as a stand, and making it so Reverb couldn't attack him or anything. Would he be able to do that right away with Shining Diamond and whatnot? That's something interesting. Or would he actually have to read Josuke and find out about his stand a little more just to put that information into him? I'm pretty sure that's how it would be, because he did put that information into the life story of Kyoichi when he did read about him and his stand. He put in that information that Reverb cannot attack Rohan. So, I don't know. You let me know what you think about that situation. I think my idea of it is pretty spot on, that he has to read about a certain stand and the person's life before he can make it so they can't attack him and stuff, which kind of seems a little OP, but then again, he has to like put them down and actually read about them. But all in all, I'm gonna end the discussion right there. I did find this episode to be one of the best episodes. I mean, the character of Rohan is pretty awesome, pretty weird, and crazy at the same time. I want to see more of Rohan, and I want to learn a lot more about his stand as well, because it does seem very interesting. So, yeah. If you enjoyed this discussion, please leave a like, as it would be greatly appreciated. It helps support the channel and it makes me feel warm and fuzzy on the inside, as well as subscribing. It's cool if you're new. If you're not new, what you need to do is tell someone who is new that they should definitely subscribe. No questions asked. And as always, keep it steezy, and I'll see you in the next video.